Well, hello. I'm playing a Sherlock Holmes game called Crimes and Punishments. Just one of the many free games that was added to the Epic Game Store, so here we go. See what it's like. That's a beat. That's definitely a beat. This is possibly the extra character, I'm guessing.
Holmes!
What am I?
Holmes, will you stop that?
Oh my goodness. Yes, Tim.
You are utterly mad.
Is he trying to... Was he trying to
Stop,
do that?
Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade.
So you get to see his
What
thought
is it
process.
this
That's
time?
interesting.
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
What's the new one? Ah, Miss Hudson.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week.
Ah, you're
A
also
grateful
locked out.
client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the
Four of them
only
are
sane
broken,
one
so-
here?
I suppose
luck
that
out of 6,
Watson
I
is right,
suppose.
Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Maybe I'll...
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Merry Men struck again.
What have they done this
Robert
time?
Downey Jr.
They robbed a powder
Here,
reserve.
at least,
I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee,
clothing
Mr.
appearance
Holmes.
for the room, and...
I should have
yeah,
Mrs. Hudson here.
But
I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I don't know who the
I
voice
shall go
actors are.
alone then.
Hello. Tab. Good carry. So that's exactly what I just told me. Just gonna walk around, walk around, walk around, walk around. Tab. Investigate the murder, select a suit, inspect the crime scene. I'm at Baker Street. And there's where I need to go. Do I get to walk there, or is it fast travel? Maybe I should just go as I am. That would be pretty good.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Guessing that's here. How do I? Watson's room.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult. My archive.
Oh,
I can always consult.
There we go. We're in Holmes's room now. So, makeup table. Whoa. Oh, is this all? It's all locked, is it? So I have to go with the base appearance. Key to wardrobe. I liked this look on him. I've never played any of these games before, so it should be interesting nonetheless. Wonder if I can. Oh, what's in here? Anything? Anything? Nothing? Ah, it's just clean it out. Okay. Well, there we go. Fast travel, I suppose. That's a very nice loading screen there.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
I can go back any time.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Okay. Well, let's keep on taking in everything as we go. Nice and slow. What's this? Why is this here? Why don't you just have a cart here? Okay, I guess that's normal. Nope. Can I just keep on using this then? Something blow up? Ah, there we go. So I can run. My goodness, that looks terrifying. There's something here apparently.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Maybe I need a pair of boots, perhaps.
Mr. Holmes?
Can I not enter? Okay, guess not. I'll probably go in there some other time.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Same garden. Oh, for the garden. doesn't seem to be anything else. There's the cutscene.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
So do I get to... What is this?
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Impressive, man.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Oh. Oh, well, this expanded.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
So it's likely his footsteps going towards the cabin then?
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
What am I supposed to be? Do I just keep on... Do I have a certain amount of time? There's something I've missed. Between the... Okay, it's not in order. That's good to know. Aha. I don't...
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Did I get it
You
right?
undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is
heard right.
evident
Got
from
that
the
right.
rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a
Wow.
young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Okay, so that's what this
Thank
game
you,
is.
madam.
Fantastic. And she's having a seat. Can't go in there. Alright, well, let's speak with the...
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Finally, I can enter.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
And the body will be missing.
Good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Well, yes, door. Door lock. Scratches. This is correct.
These scratches are fresh.
How do you tell...
You're right. Someone tried to
Scratches
force
are
open the
fresh?
door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible way to die.
That was a very hard hit.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Perhaps a Robert?
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps.
So if you guys agree that I've fully investigated it, I suppose.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Harpoons for hunting whales. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her
So why
captain.
is it still...
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
for the...
Old navigation instruments. Nothing interesting.
Okay, well, let's go back out. And investigate these footprints now. Does it fit?
These boots
No, they
don't
don't.
match the footprints. Someone drank from this glass recently.
Likely Mr. Carey himself.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
It's a boat. Oh. This doesn't go any further this way. Ah, okay. Well.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
That's just about everything.
The Sea Unicorn.
There we go.
She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
Can we tell that from the face or from the...
The weapon fully penetrated the body.
And
The
it's holding
force
it
of the
there as
blow
well.
was immense. This wooden handle is plain and solid.
Likely what he used to defend himself.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Trying to imitate the Sherlock Holmes level of... Oh,
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
well,
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
could I have taken a bit longer of a look at them? Where was it? Where was it? Why couldn't I take a look at it? Not in documents? No? Okay, that's where.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
Heartprint, so it was taken from there. Oh, what's this? Can I?
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
So, this is the overall task, and this is what I have to do right now. Organize an ambush. That sounds fun. So it's essentially a stakeout.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
Level of
I think
respect
that we are
between these
lucky
two.
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, Ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Yes, we do. That's great. What is that? Aha.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
That's all. Great. I guess we'll find out tonight. Oh, did I see something? No, okay. Well, let's maybe talk to you.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
That's what was taken.
Thank you, madam.
So, how do I...
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
So I need to... Oh, wait, is there something here? No? Okay.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
This seems interesting. Yeah, we're hiding behind the window. Yeah.
Shh. Did you hear that?
I think they heard you too, mate.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Is there anything?
Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught in our net.
Young man, don't think it's him.
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
I mean, we just discussed it. The stuff with the fair horse. I doubt that it's it.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
These are the suspect's belongings.
Oh, hey, it's the notebook.
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something.
Same question
But
as
what?
last time. So it's his ring. From R. Dawson to my friend and partner, 1883. That was the year before he retired, was it not?
And partner, 1883.
Don't really
From
have to do this.
R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A pocket knife. It was used to a handkerchief with the initials JHN.
Oh, what happened there? So wait, can I just... Yeah, this will be interesting. Just gonna change my clothes since it's apparently the next day and I'm wearing the same suit. Just not acceptable.
That is not. That is. That is.
I determine this.
That is not. That is. That is not the one. That is. That is. That is not. That is. That is not. That is not. That.
But, no.
That is not.
Sure. So, oh, no. Oh, wait, okay, so it's earned.
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I. That is not. That is. That is not the one I.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to
Even
ask
I
him.
have more than a beard. I have a beard than you, so stop rubbing your beard. There's nothing there. Yes, change of clothes. casual suit. Can I make any changes here? I wonder. Locked. Locked. Okay. Facial hair. Locked. 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 All locked, I'm guessing. Hair and hat. Oh, there's something there. I'm definitely wearing this. This is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Look at that glass. What happened if I,
These are the suspect's belongings. These abbreviations mean something.
Oh, okay, so it still doesn't go any further with that. That's fine.
Locked.
Locked. Is this the right way? Ah, the dead bodies room. Great. I don't think I need to be there.
Mr. Holmes?
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have started with that, I suppose. Notebook.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
Did I miss one already? Okay. But no, they don't go in order, do they? Oh. There we go. Thin neck. Thin neck. Okay. Let's see. Oh my. There's some nasty hands.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Well, there's quite a few. Okay. No. Okay. Let's see. Milligan's notebook. Oh wait, no, wrong one. These two? Yeah.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I am sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
There's more here, isn't there? Yeah, okay. No gardener. Appears that's all there is so far.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Breaking and entering is a crime, buddy.
Mr. Holmes?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Think there's anything left here.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible, but if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Just going to continue through here.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
She's still sitting there. I wonder if there's any use talking to her now.
Who could do such a thing?
Nope.
My poor husband.
Oh, I didn't put that back at the back at Scotland Yard. Quick, let's step to it and see.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Is there anything here? No. Okay, let's quickly go down and check with him. I don't know how this works, but... Huh?
Locked.
Here we go. Nada. Okay. Well, let's just go Whitechapel. Whitechapel Butcher. That was quick. Oh my. Okay. Well.
Well, here we are in the preparation.
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's...
A little...
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Do I just release it right in the...
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through. Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
So what should I be doing?
The harpoon has struck the...
Okay, fine.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
This This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
I
Well,
did not realize
yes.
all the things I
Let
had
us
to do
leave
for
now.
that.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Of course you would do something like that. Strength requirement. I think it's, yeah. Oh, so you can choose which line to believe. That's interesting. I like that. I like that. I'm honestly not sure where I should be going.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Why do you do that?
My archive.
Nothing. Okay.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Locked.
I am mighty confused as to what exactly I'm supposed to be doing right now. Oh, I'll leave it off here for now. Let's see how we go from here. Thank you for watching this calm gameplay of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. See you